In the information age, each of us can access hundreds, even thousands, tens of thousands of times more information every day than the ancients. But do you realize that the depth of thinking of modern people is far inferior to that of the ancients? The ability to think independently only takes up less than 5 minutes. Why is that? Because even though the amount of information every day is very large, most of what we see is actually just what others want us to see. This leads to more and more people believing in illusions and living their whole lives with a mind full of fake food. I know your life is very busy, but what I say is not easy to absorb, especially difficult to grasp. If you only listen to it once, my advice is to watch it to the end. Listen to it over and over again when you are free or doing housework. Please share and save the list of methods for your convenience. I am sure that within a few short months, your thinking will develop to a new level. The ancients greet you and your friends. The most basic difference between the awake and the asleep is the ability to see through the basic laws of this world. When you are awake and enlightened, you will understand that this world has two sets of rules operating in this world. What you hear and see are actually traps. This world is made up of two sets of rules. The first set of rules is humaneness and morality. It is majestic, can freely discuss on the table. The second set of rules is practical, can help you settle down, should only discuss in closed groups, cannot spread. The morality of the first system is just a form, while the benefits of the second system are the essence. The knowledge we are exposed to since childhood, the great empire, is mostly the formal rules of the first system. People always calculate the benefits in their hearts. That is the rule of benefits of the second system. Good people are those who use the first system as a means to achieve the goals of the second system. Almost everyone wears a shiny moral coat, then finds every way to benefit themselves. Moral rules, everyone says the benefit rule out loud. Everyone remembers it in their hearts, so never let the first system fool you, but use the second system to see things through. For example, we cannot just look at what a person says, but must look at what they do. The first system is just a trap. You cannot consider it as a method to settle down and become successful and famous. If you want to understand each person's behavior, you need to analyze it based on the second system. That is the benefit analysis method. The benefit is the main reason that leads to human activities. The benefit analysis method will never be outdated. For example, this is an incident that happened to me. Once, my friends and I went on a trip because we brought a lot of luggage and did not know the local area. So in the hotel lobby, my friend secretly gave the luggage service staff 500 VND. After that, in a few days, that staff was very enthusiastic with us, arranging everything from the travel itinerary to the luggage very thoughtfully. Then he said that if you want to receive help from a friend, must first understand what you can provide for them among strangers besides benefits. There can be no other relationship. Money is the best way to express well. 500,000 is not much, but it is much more useful than saying 10 sentences that sound nice or deliberately pretend to be friendly. This is the method of analyzing benefits. Many people come to ban with a clear purpose. They know what they want, but never think about what they can bring to others. Before you want to receive, you need to think carefully what you can bring to others. Your benefits are what others need or not. Is it the only thing the world of adults need to understand? These 4 words exchange value. If the second thing, the benefits of the second set of rules, do not take shape, then forever can only rely on the first set of rules. The ethical and humane relationship between the two sides is just a fake behavior. History progresses constantly. The law does not change. The world develops strongly. Human nature does not change. Avoid damages. Human instinct. New benefit is the most important reason leading human action, because the second set of TC can only do but cannot say. Maintain the operation of the world with 2 sets of rules. The first set of rules is probably like the rules between 2 people, a kind of politeness between people, like sometimes we talk to others knowing that we are talking nonsense. You also know the other person is lying. We all know each other is talking nonsense. Everyone understands this from their forming the first set of rules. No matter how human development, still need to follow the first set of rules so that people do not look too pragmatic like Confucius. In the same time as Mr. Gue Cuc had extraordinary talent, but why could he not be praised like Confucius? Because his theory talked about the set of rules. The second is only suitable for use but not suitable for public use. There is a saying that true maturity is to see through but not to speak through. It refers to the second set of rules you can only use but absolutely should not speak out. Once spoken out, it will be wrong. In this world, those who speak the truth often look like villains, while many villains try to disguise themselves as gentlemen. How to upgrade yourself quickly. What is this is an effective method immediately whoever can learn and do it will immediately achieve new sublimation. This system is something you cannot hear elsewhere. It is divided into 3 levels. Ordinary people but much better have only grasped some of the surface of the first level, and that is already higher than the majority of others, but to understand the second and third levels requires intuition and fate. I will try to say it in the shortest possible way. Let's see how much you understand. The first level is the perception of most of the good people around us, that is, they understand very clearly that this world is an illusion, but control the real things that cannot be seen, control the things that can be seen. The reason why ordinary people find it difficult to overcome is because they only live in the world of form, limited by what their eyes see and their ears hear. They mistake form for truth. For example, today a person is good to them, they think that person is a good person. Tomorrow that person is not good to them anymore, they think that person is a bad person. One-sided perception is inferior. Just that. In the information age, each of us can access the amount of information every day is hundreds or even thousands or tens of thousands of times that of the ancients. But do you realize the depth of thinking of modern people is far inferior to the ancients? People who have the ability to think independently only take up less than 5 minutes. Why is that? Because even though the amount of information every day is very large, but most of what we see is actually just what others want us to see. This leads to more and more people believing in illusions and living their whole lives with a mind full of fake food. So why can experts make anything into something so simple? They do not look at the surface, only looking for answers in the laws of human nature and the way of heaven that the majority do not look at. They build the perspective of God from the perspective of the mood, the benefits, the past, present, and future of each person to predict the results. How can it not be accurate? The master is also very difficult to suffer because they understand that existence is reasonable, so any appearance, change, or disappearance is very normal because the new cycle is normal. The difference is only the length of time. Whoever can understand this has a strong soul to the point of being almost invincible. Then ordinary people have heard enough, because what I am about to say next, they certainly cannot understand the second level. Those who can understand can become gods because it is contrary to our perception. Ordinary people, the whole universe is the embodiment of energy, including you and I. Every thought, every gesture of ours is a frequency. The frequency has no positive or negative, only high and low. High energy affects low energy. Belief, the stronger, the more beautiful and comfortable it makes people feel, the more likely it is to influence more people. The more people on the same frequency as you, the more you are, the easier it is to succeed. So success is not a problem. At the same time, this world, actually there is no existence of time and space. The changes that we feel as time flowing are actually just all kinds of changes, and every change has a destiny. The person who can grasp this destiny is the person who is clear about the way of heaven, is the prophet, the mathematician, or the person who can do everything. This is only the second level. Those who understand can enter the third level. I will continue to talk about the third level. However, please note that the following things are not understandable without high-level awareness. First, everyone in the world is you. There is no one else but you. All changes are a tug of war between you and yourself. Buddha is you, ghost is you, animal is you, human is you. The ultimate goal is for you to realize all these things and reconcile with yourself. Second nature of the world, there is no good or bad, there is no beauty, ugly has no standards, everything is natural. I am the universe is me. Third, all forms are illusions. The more you desire something, the more you lack it, because the hadu of mortals is to stay away from the space of dreams. Upside down, Lu can reach nirvana. Bien, no people, all toads of nothing can be, because of the end of. If you are watching my previous about Wang Yongming, a politician, most HC excellent thinker of the Ming Dynasty and history, national Mr. actually discovered the influence of something similar to the subconscious in human thinking on action. He believed that if one could understand the truth, change would happen immediately and the current situation could change immediately. However, most people who read about the unified knowledge in action all misunderstood what Wang Yongming said he was talking about was the subconscious, or in other words, a kind of feeling. He was not talking about the kind of knowledge you get from reading or listening. My content, this kind of knowledge needs to be understood. The truth he was talking about is that you can drive while on the phone or know how to cycle while listening to music without having to go through the thinking process. It is spontaneous between the limb and the action. There is no time gap. Like when you smell a bad smell, you will immediately feel disgusted. You feel disgusted when you smell it, not smell it, then think about feeling disgusted. For example, when you see a handsome person or a girl you like them, immediately not seeing them, then thinking about liking them. The unified knowledge in action is not a method. It is not telling you to do what you know, nor is it telling you to unify knowledge and mind. Wang Yongming is describing a state that is these two things are inherently one and two sides of the same thing. Just like a person's face, when it appears, will definitely have both a left and a right side. Just like when you are stabbed by something, the act of being stabbed and the feeling of pain are inseparable, are two sides of the same thing. The above are the basics. If you can understand, I will continue to talk about deeper things. For example, at night your brain knows that you should go to sleep, but the subconscious mind will object and want to stay up a little later to satisfy you. In the end, you will see that the brain does not have the right to decide, but the subconscious mind is the master. The result is that you will go to sleep very late, or when you want to go jogging, the subconscious will immediately create a feeling of tiredness, boredom, and the pain of perseverance. These perceptions will cause jogging to be put on hold. Remember that anyone right now at this moment is in a state of unified knowledge and action. Your actions can only be a manifestation of the subconscious. This sentence must be remembered. It is related to the latter part. The subconscious is what Vong Duong Min is talking about, of course. The subconscious that I use here is just an approximate concept to help people understand that this actually belongs to the Alaya consciousness in Buddhism. It manages the ego of each person. That is, the seventh consciousness in addition to the six consciousnesses, which are the eyes, ears, body, and mind. The mind in the six consciousnesses is what we usually understand, that is, knowing that smoking is harmful to health, knowing that going to bed early and waking up early is good for the body, knowing that exercising and reading a lot is good. However, this idea is influenced by the Alaya consciousness and cannot decide anything on its own. The Alaya consciousness that governs the ego of a person is the nature of anger, ignorance, arrogance, and jealousy. Therefore, Vong Duong Min said that there is good and evil, intention, action, and action. Qi Tian, evil, and Ti Luong Qi. The first sentence talks about the discrimination of individuals that creates the ego of each person, from which good and evil are born. The second sentence says that you must let the seventh consciousness, that is, the Alaya consciousness, truly know what is good and what is bad, that is conscience. Vong Duong Min, a famous thinker in the Mid-Ming dynasty, he understood the truth of life and create the ultimate secret method to purify the soul. Vong Duong Min believes that in life, everyone will encounter many complicated problems. We seem to be busy with all kinds of things every day, but in the end, all we handle are our own emotions and feelings. For example, during Tet, when we return to our hometown to reunite, everyone drives a Mercedes BMW, only you drive an old car bought for 100 million. They constantly imply that your car is unsafe, the engine is weak, the interior is poor, and the car logo is not luxurious. What will you think at this time? But if we change the context, let's say you are driving a luxury car worth several billion, how will you feel? Yes, the problem lies here. Obviously, the reunion is still the same reunion, the people talking are still the same people. But why does your mood change so much in two different contexts? If you can clearly understand this, you will achieve real change. The feeling brought about by birth, aging, and illness is real. All that you feelings such as happiness, sadness, hate, jealousy, greed are just reflections of your own state of mind. All emotions do not exist objectively. They all originate from delusions and activities outside of the human mind. The material world outside is only one, but in the heart. Each person has their own small world and each world is different. This is the meaning of the saying. The mind has no objects. The ocean is the ocean. It does not represent vastness. The moon is the moon. It also does not represent longing. All definitions are created by humans. Some people say that plum blossoms are fragrant from bitterness. Cold comes, but plum blossom is only because it is plum blossom. Without the cold, plum blossoms will no longer be plum blossoms. That's right, if you can see through the nature of things, you can easily move between different emotions without being bound by human barriers. Person at this time, you will become an invincible existence that can communicate with people and deal with everything. After Long Truong's enlightenment, King Duong Min understood very clearly the truth of life, which is an enlightenment after thinking thoroughly. He believed that the attitude of the soul determines the way of behaving, from which there is the saying, knowledge and action are unified. Looking at the meaning of the word, it is not difficult to understand. For example, when parents get old, children naturally know to be filial. That is wisdom, action, and expression. Filial piety towards parents is practice. These two things are a unified entity. It is not that one is lost, then the other exists. However, if you want to truly understand these four words, I am afraid it is not that simple. In essence, the human heart has no good or evil, but a single thought creates good or evil. After Long Truong's enlightenment, King Duong Min believed even more that the unenlightened heart has no mistakes, which is the highest principle. There is no need to search outside. but can be found in one's own heart. He believed that there is only one heart, no need to distinguish between human heart and the Taoist mind, only needs to cultivate the mind, eliminate evil thoughts, preserve the natural principles, and you will be successful. Our mind is the source of all meaning. Everything will naturally manifest, but whether it disturbs my mind or not is up to me. I decide whether the sky will fall and the earth will collapse. Floods will flood the sky. As long as my mind is at peace, this world will forever be stable. All problems of the mind. In the end, everything is just a matter of the state of mind. No matter how evil things are in the world, as long as my mind is still, nothing can harm me and no thought of mine can be transmitted. This is the power of psychology. Wang Yangming, your subconscious is controlling your life, but you call it fate. In the above section, we said that Wang Yangming actually discovered something like the subconscious in people's thoughts, which affects their actions. What he said, if you truly understand it, you will immediately create changes, change your current circumstances, and welcome each person's destiny. In this section, we will go deeper into how whether you can understand it or not depends on fate. Note that my content is only suitable for a small group of people, and those who have a crowd mindset, please quickly watch the video of the beautiful boys and girls. Do not waste your time. Think about when Wang Yangming was lying in the study in Longchong, he thought that all his life I have thought a lot but still have not succeeded. On the contrary, I have put myself in this situation. Then he decided to stop thinking and started to change his position. If I were a saint, what would I do? He no longer thought about how to practice to become a saint, but directly acted according to the direction and standards of the saint that he knew. He began to ignore the thoughts and feelings in his head, directly followed and imitated the results. Then everyone knows he has started to change completely. At first glance it seems simple, but the inner reality is extremely difficult. I will analyze for everyone to understand, because we are discussing the issue of the mind, so all our actions must come from the potential human behavior, cannot escape the control of the subconscious. Wang Yangming ignored this and directly cut off the process. This is a northern style of play. There is a key point that can help everyone understand this mind method. Today I will share with everyone. You can imagine your life is like a character in a game, a character who then this character who in the game world no matter what he thinks, does, decides, all have been created by the real player behind him. He set the attributes in advance, means no matter what this character thinks, does, decides, all are not his real decisions. However, from his perspective it is his own decision, but in fact he can never go beyond the limit set up his thinking. In other words, he will definitely think like that today, he will definitely do like that today. This is the problem of Wang Yangming at that time, is also our problem now. He realized that even if he has the way of thinking, has the practice, how then I am still just a character, someone, the attributes of this character who can only be like that. For example, let's temporarily call it attribute A. He wants to break through and wants to change the attack and magic stats of this character, but he can't change it because he is just a program that executes those parameters. In other words, each of us is a program that executes our own parameters, cannot change the parameters by thinking. But at this time, if there is an IB character, he executes the parameters of a saint, meaning the attack and magic stats are much higher than the character AI of Wang Duangmin. The way to break the situation of Wang Duangmin is B. Do whatever I do. If all my actions are like B, then I myself am not B. Why cultivate the mind? What else? What is there to do? More. This immediately broke through his execution program. Broken situation. He endured psychological discomfort, not caring at all when he followed B's actions. Surely his feeling would be extremely uncomfortable, because execution is a unified entity. When he performs the action, imitating before that action itself is not something that character A's parameters can do, so he certainly feels uncomfortable. But on the contrary, after he does so, he is no longer himself. This is the way through behavior to break through cognitive parameters, because knowledge and action are inherently two sides of yin and yang of a thing. Change the subconscious, then action also changes. This is what Wang Yangming really wants to say, is also the specific implementation path. Human thinking path is from the optical to the brain, then from the brain to the limbs. That Wang Yangming said, that is, the subconscious limbs of the subconscious manifest as action because they are a unified entity. Normally we only rely on the consciousness at the brain level, that is, the sixth consciousness including the eyes, ears, body, and mind, to understand things like that. It is completely useless. We need to practice to change the subconscious to be able to change actions, but because the subconscious cannot break through its own thinking, it must go through the opposite behavior to change the subconscious. Your subconscious is controlling your life, but you call it fate. Therefore, Wang Duangmin's mind method is essentially something to change fate. Therefore, when he breaks through the parameters to change fate, he will definitely be like Trang Tu Tien Tong, the Taoist master, who realized the origin of the world. Mind and matter are one, all things are a unified entity, understanding the operating rules of the entire world. This content is quite difficult. If you don't understand or what you think of now is not what I want to express, then that's normal. Take it slow. When you truly understand completely, psychology is a cheating tool. In life, doing anything is as simple as eating, sleeping, breathing, doing whatever you want. Let go is let go. Want to pick up is pick up.